When the biggest personalities in basketball start speaking seriously, people pay attention. This wasn't the usual small drama you see online. This moment actually made headlines and got everyone in the sports world talking. Shaquille O'Neal didn't just throw out a quick hot take and move on. He clearly explained why he believes LeBron James doesn't create the same fear or intimidation that legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant did. According to Shaq, LeBron gets a lot of respect, but he doesn't create that same level of fear that some past superstars created on the court. That idea alone started a big debate among fans. Shaq says his argument comes down to two things: style and substance. First is the style. Shaq believes LeBron's image feels more like a modern celebrity. He pointed out things like pre-game dancing, social media moments, and warm-ups that look ready for TikTok. To Shaq, this makes LeBron look more like a superstar entertainer than an intimidating force. Shaq even described LeBron as a goofy kid, which is a strong statement when talking about intimidation in basketball. For Shaq's generation, the NBA was different. Players built their reputation through intense competition, tough practices, and physical play. The goal was to make opponents feel nervous before the game even started. In that era, greatness meant showing up and making the other team feel like their night was about to be ruined. Shaq believes that when opponents truly fear a player, that gives the player a huge psychological advantage. He thinks that LeBron's modern, celebrity-style image might take away some of that intimidation factor. And that's why this debate about LeBron's legacy keeps getting bigger among NBA.
Do I think or do I know? Yes, the answer is yes. I mean, because there's only one contributing factor. Who's going to guard me?
That's right. No one can do that.
No, they cannot.
That's right.
The other side of Shaq's argument is the substance, and that's where his criticism becomes serious. Shaquille O'Neal says the issue isn't just about personality or pre-game dancing. For him, it's about how a player approaches winning. According to Shaq, LeBron James represents a new way of building success in the NBA. If a team situation isn't good enough to win a championship, LeBron changes the situation. That can mean joining new teams, forming super teams, choosing the best teammates, and using smart long-term strategies to stay competitive. In simple terms, Shaq believes LeBron focuses on opportunity and smart planning, while older legends focused more on pure domination on the court. Shaq's generation had a very different mindset. Their goal was to physically and mentally wear down opponents, control the league during their prime years, and dominate whoever stood in front of them. Because of that difference, Shaq sometimes feels uncomfortable watching a legacy built through carefully chosen situations instead of simply overpowering opponents. This leads to the main question Shaq keeps asking. Did LeBron become the greatest because opponents feared him, or because he was smart enough to outlast and outplay the system over time? Shaq also makes it clear that his argument isn't about jealousy. He isn't attacking LeBron's scoring records or his incredible longevity. Instead, Shaq is talking about something deeper: the psychological impact certain players had on the league. When Shaq talks about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, he says players genuinely feared facing them. Teams would change their entire game plan because those players brought an intense level of pressure every night. For Shaq, real greatness creates that kind of fear. It's not about popularity or brand power. It's about making opponents feel like the game is going to be extremely difficult the moment you step on the court. Shaq believes LeBron's story, while extremely successful and impressive, hasn't created the same level of fear among opponents. And whether fans agree with Shaq or not, his comments shift the entire GOAT debate away from just statistics and towards something harder to
I don't
measure:
understand what LeBron was talking about personally, because
intimidation
LeBron
a player
also
brings
said
to the
that
game.
there are a lot of changes that need to be made in the NBA. The league had taken too many damn threes and pertaining to the All-Star weekend. So he was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth there. I don't really understand why he took that position. But nevertheless, a lot of people felt like he was taking a shot at people like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal.
Now let's look at the main points Shaquille O'Neal used to explain his criticism. He didn't just call LeBron James soft and move on. He gave examples from NBA history and culture to support his argument. First, Shaq talked about intimidation moments in the past. He mentioned how players reacted to legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. When those players were on the court, opponents often felt real pressure. Jordan's intense stare and Kobe's competitive mindset made players nervous before the game even started. Shaq says teams sometimes changed their entire strategy because they knew facing those players would be extremely difficult. Then Shaq compared that to the modern NBA. Today, pre-game moments often include dancing, smiling for cameras, and creating social media content. For Shaq, that makes the league feel more like entertainment than intimidation. Second, Shaq talked about LeBron's career decisions. In his opinion, LeBron has often shaped his situations to increase his chances of winning. That includes forming super teams, making big free agency moves, and carefully managing his public image. Shaq believes older legends focused more on dominating opponents directly on the court rather than changing their environment to improve their chances. Third, Shaq pointed out how the NBA itself has changed. New rules about spacing, freedom of movement, and player protection have made the game more focused on skill and scoring. These changes help players stay productive for longer careers, but Shaq believes they also make the kind of physical, intimidating dominance from the past much rarer. This is why Shaq's comments connect strongly with many older NBA fans. Some of them feel that the league has slowly shifted from pure competition to a mix of sports, entertainment, and branding. According to Shaq, today's NBA often focuses on highlights, media moments, and player brands, sometimes more than the intense battles that defined earlier eras. When Shaq talks about famous moments like LeBron's big free agency decisions, he's not only criticizing one player. He's also talking about a larger cultural change in the NBA, where player freedom and personal brands are more important than ever. For fans who judge greatness by how much opponents
not
fear
only
a player,
responding to
Shaq's
critics,
argument feels like
but
a
also
powerful
directly
statement.
responding to LeBron by saying, look, number one, you wouldn't have this longevity thing had it not been for the era that you're playing in the cupcake era. And number two, he fired back at the people that are essentially trying to get him to bow down and basically go out there and twerk it up all day long and pour honey all over himself and holler and scream.
But to be fair, Shaquille O'Neal's criticism doesn't cancel out the strong arguments in favor of LeBron James. A balanced view needs to look at both sides. LeBron's career is also an incredible story of longevity, adaptability, and record-breaking numbers. Over the years, he has helped reshape multiple franchises and has become a powerful cultural figure, not just a basketball player. For many younger players and fans, LeBron represents a new kind of greatness. In a modern NBA that focuses on analytics, player empowerment, and career management, LeBron's approach looks very smart. Supporters argue that LeBron simply understood how the NBA was changing and used that knowledge to stay successful for a very long time. Where Shaq sees manipulation, others see smart strategy. Where Shaq sees too much showmanship, others see strong media awareness and leadership in the modern attention-driven world. This raises an important question for fans. Is fear the only true measure of greatness? Or can greatness also come from adapting to the modern game and building a legacy within today's system? Another important point in this debate is the generational difference. This argument isn't just about Shaq versus LeBron. It represents a bigger clash between old-school basketball thinking and the new-school approach. The old-school mindset believes greatness comes from extreme work ethic, physical dominance, and intimidating opponents. The modern approach focuses more on understanding the system, managing careers wisely, building personal brands, and using media platforms effectively. Shaq's perspective supports the first idea, while LeBron's era has shown how powerful the second approach can be. This tension affects many parts of the NBA today: how coaches recruit players, how teams build their rosters, and how young players plan their careers both on the court and on social media. Because the NBA is such a huge cultural influence, this debate goes far beyond just basketball highlights.
I mean, listen, we all got our guys. Dr. J is my guy.
Yeah. Iverson's my guy. Who's your guy?
The debate is getting bigger. When Shaquille O'Neal criticizes LeBron James, it doesn't just stay as a small argument. comments like these can influence how fans remember players in the future. Public opinion shapes things like legacy rankings, Hall of Fame discussions, and even how documentaries will talk about this era of basketball years from now. If most fans agree with Shaq's idea that greatness should create fear, then LeBron's legacy might be viewed differently. Instead of being seen as the clear greatest player ever, he might be remembered more as a player who mastered the modern NBA system. But if fans believe greatness should also include longevity, cultural influence, and leadership, then LeBron's case for being the greatest becomes even stronger. Legacy isn't just about what happens on the court. It's also about how people talk about a player many years after they retire. And Shaq understands that. That's why his comments aren't just random jokes. They are part of a bigger conversation that could shape how this era of basketball is remembered. Because of this, the debate will only get more intense. LeBron supporters will quickly respond by pointing to his championships, Finals MVP awards, incredible playoff performances, and the way he helped multiple teams become contenders again. But the most powerful part of Shaq's argument isn't about statistics or trophies. It comes down to one simple question. Did players fear LeBron the same way they feared Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? That question has the power to simplify a very complicated debate. There's also a deeper emotional side to Shaq's comments. He isn't only criticizing LeBron. In many ways, he's defending an older idea of basketball, a time when the game was more physical, more intense, and players tried to dominate their opponents every night. For Shaq, greatness meant forcing other players to change their game just to survive on the court. Many older fans still connect strongly with that idea, which is why Shaq's words resonate with so many people. But others believe the game has evolved. Rules have changed, the business of basketball has grown, and players now have more control over their careers. From that perspective, LeBron didn't weaken the game. He simply mastered the modern version of it. So now the real question goes to the fans. Do you agree with Shaq that LeBron's biggest weakness is that he never created the same level of fear as Jordan or Kobe? Or do you believe Shaq is looking at the game through an old-school lens and ignoring how much the NBA has changed? Pick your side in the debate. Think about championships, clutch moments, leadership, and cultural influence. Because in the end, the conversation about greatness in basketball is far from over.